Well, hello there again. Don't know what happened there, but quick recap. Here we are. I've drawn in 1, 2, 3, 4 squares in pencil. And the one in the centre, I've drawn 4 little curves to create a bit of a bubble. I've then created some little loops in the corners. And then, of course, just if I can zoom in there, I did these little leaf shapes with some little stitched lines in the middle. So that's where we sort of ended, and very abruptly. So welcome back, everybody. And what's the next thing? I'm going to now just draw in these little lines down the side, just so I've got that little square sort of enclosed in the middle there. There we go. So just sort of working around. There we go. Sorry about that, everybody. We have had some electric work done today on the house, which is why I'm at home, really. So it could be that certain things just need restarting and stuff. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. There we are. Okay, so I'm just going to fill in any gaps that I've got there. See, here I can always come in and just change that shape a little bit. A little bit wobbly there. There we go. All right. So just sort of filling that bit in. Got a bit of a shape there in the middle. There we go. All right. Hi, everybody back. Sorry about that. All right. What I want to do now, I'm just going to bring, I want to bring back my pencil. Here we go. Because what I'm going to do, I want to mark, let's have a look. Not quite, see, that's where we would normally do the square, but I want to take it perhaps another square. You see, so I've got 2 squares. And then the same here. So I've got my marks, you see, so I've got a bigger corner there. And then what I'm going to do is create a curve from there to there. You see? So let's do the same on this side. So that's where I would normally put my square, but I want to go another square out, and put in a curve. Now I know it's great to sort of sketch these lines, but I think what's really nice, if you could go in with a confident stroke, you can always make amendments. Sorry about that, everybody. We seem to have lost something along the lines there, but I say I've had a little bit of electrics and stuff done today, so I switched everything off and on again. There you go. Okay, so try and keep that going in one line. You can always make amendments after if you need to. Okay, so that's our first little bit there. So I'm going to do a second curve. See, I've not quite got to this point here because what I want to do is put that second curve in there. All right, so I'm going to do the same on each of those. Again, just sort of bring it round. And because it's in pencil, you can always change it if you need to. There you go. The same on this one. So, you know, turn your tile so it's comfortable, so you're not trying to draw a curve that you're sort of struggling with. You want something that looks a little bit like that. Okay, everybody there? Everybody with me now? Okay. Next bit then, I want to do just a smaller, so I might as well use that little square there now. Put a little one in there. Same along there. So we've just got those little bits in the corner. Same on this one. Okay. So I'm going to bring my brown pen back in. Let's go in a little bit more there. And on each of these little curves now, what I'm going to do is put a little dotted line, or a little faux stitching kind of line. There you go. So, you know, if you've got any amendments you want to do to these curves first, do that first. And then come in and add these little bits to it. Same here. So I'm going to take that out just a little bit more. So I've got that. Okay, same on this one. Sounds a bit busy out there today. It's never a dull moment. Okay, so see how we just sort of follow that line around. Same sort of thing here. And turn it around again. And the same again. So just sort of little dotted lines. Now you could do this with a black pen. Don't think you've got to do it in 2 colours. Or you could do a full line if you don't want to put this little bit of stitching in. Oh, Pam, do you know what it is? I think it's because my hand's not really, I don't know, moving. It's sort of staying in one place. It's my wrist that's moving, really. And it's just sort of following that curve. My hand's so comfortable in that curve, it's automatic. But I think the more practice, you know. Actually, I'm going to, I've got all my tiles at the minute, or from 61 over, upwards anyway, in a folder. I'm thinking about taking them all out and doing a mosaic and actually photographing all of them together. Just wondering if I've got space here. I might have to do that at the office. I just think it'd be nice to just sort of see what we've got. It's been so long since I've done them. I think that's why perhaps book 9's coming so quickly. It's because I was on a roll with book 8 and I thought, oh, I don't really want to finish. I want to do the next one. So yeah, that's why it's sort of working its way around. See, you've got these little dots going on now. Okay, so next bit then. I'm going to stick with the corners. And in each one, I'm back with the black pen. I'm going to create a little line in a loop, or a little line in a curl. Just going to thicken that curl up a bit. And then another little line and a curl. Just thicken it up a bit. So turn it round. And then from the middle again. You see, I've actually, when I say turn it round, this is actually, this vertical line is in line with me. So, Chris, that's the point. I can get Leslie to photograph it. She's taller than I am. And if I get to stand on the chair. Oh, health and safety, of course. We'll consult the Health and Safety Volume 3 to see if she's allowed to stand on a chair to take a photo. The next one, see, so I've got that vertical again, it's in front of me. The same here. Just thicken up that little curl. Alright. So, looking at this little bit, I'm going to start in the middle and I want to create sort of a loop, but it's not sort of going to a point at the bottom, it's quite sort of similar thickness, top and bottom. And then if you turn your tile ever so slightly, then follow the shapes all the way around. Now if you get to the bottom and you can only fit half of one of these in, don't worry about that, just fit half of one in. It can sort of be an imaginary all the way around. Or you could actually split your space as we do sometimes. We'll do that on the next one. So if we do the middle one, and then if we, let's have a look, probably get 3 in there. So if I put this one in and then come back on myself, I can sort of gauge the space so I can get them in. Chris, that would be great. Oh, sorry, Marie, if you missed a bit. What did I do? I've drawn in these corners. So I drew, this is sort of like 2 squares. Did this one, then this one, and added this one in. I put some little faux stitching in. And then I've added some little curls in the corner there. And now I'm coming to this little bit, started with a loop and working my way one side. And then the other. I'm trying to gauge so I can get a certain amount. But if you find that one's dropping off the end, don't worry about it. So same here, look. So I'm sort of gauging here. I'm going to get 3 in there. So I can sort of think, right, I'm going to get 1, 2. That's the only part of 1. Well, that's okay. Oh, Joanne, yeah, that's quite I'll have to do a little video. There is a video, but I don't know if I've shown everything in there. And it does change. When I'm next in there, I'll do a little video of the gallery. So we'll do a little talk through and show it to you. There we are. That's where we're at so far. So working on this bit here then. And again, you can do this, whatever makes it comfortable for you. Is I'm going to create some little swirls. Now you don't have to go this direction. You can go the other direction if you want to. You can start from the outside and work in. It really doesn't matter. But I find it, I like to do it from the inside and work my way out. But now if you want to do it the other way, if you want to do outside first and then come in, you can do that too. That's kind of nice actually. It's giving me a slightly different swirl, you see? See there, you're just going to see a little bit, maybe. Okay. Oh, sorry, Richard. The only thing I didn't redo is this bit in the middle. But all this now will be on video, so, you know, you can get the gist of that. We've got a few curves in. Yeah. Okay. So you could go that way or that way. Whatever works for you. Okay. You've got this, Richard. You'll catch up in no time. Or do you know what? Leave that little bit, because we're doing sections as we go. As long as you've got these curves in, because it's going to affect these lines. So if you sort of sketch them in with pencil, and then follow me with everything else that I'm doing. And then go back in and fill those bits in afterwards. Oh, see, I've not done that one there, look. I was too keen to get onto the swirls. That's okay, I can go back in and do it in a bit. I know, Jan, I've just spotted that, thank you. I'll go back in and do it in a minute. So it's me too keen to move on to the swirls. Here we are. So just sort of keep it going. Sort of in a row. If this go underneath a bit, it's fine. Oh, Pam, don't, honestly, if you find that one of the tiles you're struggling with a little bit, honestly, put it to one side and move on. Don't stick with it, just move on with it. Do another one. We don't want you to get stuck there. You know, you don't have to work in order. You don't have to start at number 1 and go through. Why not jump? Why not do all the 10s or all the 5s and start that way and then go back in and fill a few in? But here we are. Let's put this one back in. So, you know, these are meant to be enjoyed. I don't want you to all stress over them if you can't quite get something. We'll all struggle with 1 or 2 of them because there's so many variations and so many different ones. So we don't expect you to get them all. Don't worry about it at all. Okay. So what then if we bring our bubbles in and fill them in here? You see, just sort of in those little bits of space. Oh, I'm sorry, did I get... We're all missing bits now. It was one of those funny starts to a tile, wasn't it? But we're back on now. We're up and running. Okay, don't worry if these are different sizes. That's natural, they're going to be different. Notice how much you're going around them twice. It just redefines them, I think, gives them a bit of shape. But there we go. All right, so we've got this kind of shape, okay? So I want to now move on to this one here. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Again, if you've not done the rest of it, don't worry about it. As long as you've got those curves in, because you see it affects where we start our next little bit. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sort of about here and I'm going to bring in a line. You might want to do this in pencil, I don't mind. It's kind of sort of a backward S, you see? and it's sort of gone slightly out of the border there and slightly out of the border there. And then I'm going to start here, just sort of inside, and create another one of those shapes. You see it doesn't quite join, I can join that together. And then that one as well. So then back out and round, see, join that one up. I'd rather do my curl a little bit shorter than go sort of too far and find that it doesn't work, or it goes over what my next little loop. There we go. And then I'm going to turn it round. So here we go again. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to create that sort of backward S, top and bottom coming out a little bit. And then back over and in. You see that little bit there? I'd rather do that than have it sticking out too far. But I think the more you sort of do it, the more you get used to it. I'll go back in and I'll put those lines in a bit. And I'll just join them up if need be. Okay. So let's do the same again, turning it round. And then curve in. Now again, if you can do this without sort of being too sketchy, keep it on a curve a little bit. Try and sort of do it in one go with that curve or that line. You'll find it a lot easier to sort of put together. Alright, okay, next one. And then in and along. See how it just sort of starts to flow. And you get this lovely sort of rope kind of shape there. Okay, let's have a look. So there we go, I'm just going to join that to there, make sure they're joined. Let's have a look at it. There we are. Okay, not too bad at all, that. Alright, so let's have a look in this sort of middle section. I'm just going to bring my pencil in and I'm going to just give myself a little bit of a guide. See, I'm just lining up those two there, turning it round, and those two there. So I've got my sort of corners sorted out there. And then you could, if you want, you could put a line in the middle. Again, it's just going to be a bit of a guide. And then let's go in a little bit. Okay. So, leafy shape in the middle there. And then along here. Oh, Bonnie, I'm glad you're liking this one. It's a take on a quilt we saw at the weekend. I thought it'd be really nice to mix the two, you know, just to put them together. And this was all done in, it was completely white. So it was all quilting. There was nothing fancy, no patchwork as such. It was just a completely quilted piece. Backing with my colour. Just going to add the stitches in. It was absolutely beautiful. So I'm just sort of, you know, paying my respect and doing a little tile based on. So there's such a lot of tangling in quilting, and a lot of the patterns of the tangles are very, very similar, or the same almost. So it just sort of stands to reason we can actually merge between the two. Or even, you know, even more. That's why I think it works so well on fabric. It's a seamless crossover, really, isn't it? Okay, so you see I've done the same that side. And the same on this side. Just working my way out, filling the space there in the centres. Leaving the corners for something else. I did actually come away from the NEC with a quilt kit. So I've swapped one of the colours out so it can match my living room. But honestly, it's I think it's going to be a little bit of a block at a time rather than doing it all in one go, because time doesn't allow for that at the minute. But I'm really looking forward to starting it. Okay, so there we go. We've got that on all sides. And notice the difference between using the black and that sort of what's it called? Sanguine? It's like a dark brown. It's just nice to have the difference now and again. Okay, so we're coming to these little corners now. So I'm going to use the guide to help me. I know where my middle is. And again, if you want to put a middle line in, do so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little swirl here. Just make that a little bit heavier. And a little swirl here. Again, a little bit heavier. So along here. Oh, hi Sue. Please, it's no problem you're late. To be honest, we actually started all over again anyway because connection got lost for some reason. So you might sort of have missed that first middle shape. But I think once you get the idea of it, you'll work it out. There you go. So we've got these sort of little hearts in the middle there. And again, I'm not worried about getting them exactly. Just want a little bit of something there. Okay. So see, we've got these little spaces now in between. So let's start on this one first. I'm going to come out from this line here and create a little curl. And again, a little bit thicker there. And then I'll curl here, a little bit thicker at the bottom. Turning it round. Same again, up and along, a little bit thicker, up and along, a little bit thicker. Oh, Sue, she should have come and said hi. We had Dobby with us and everything. Yeah, he was in Leslie's backpack all day until he saw there's a quilt that's got all the Harry Potter books on. It looks like a big bookcase. And he was quite impressed with that, especially that there was a little bit of him there as well. So he loved that. Okay, so there we go. This is so far so good. Let's have a look at that. Okay, liking that. It's lovely, isn't it? How that works together. It's really nice. So I want to sort of now come into this last little bit here. So I'm going to split it into 3 sections. So I might as well do all 3 at the same time. Oh, Sue, yeah, should I have come over? We actually, we said hello to John Scott, so Leslie met him. And we saw Adam as well from Sewing Bee there. That was really nice. So we had a chat to them. All right, so let's work in the middle one first. I'm going to create this sort of, let's have a look, little V shape. See, a little bit of a curve. Like so. And then I want to put a little aura inside it. Yeah, and so, oh yeah, the Kent show is going to be amazing. I hope you're all going to be prepared because I want every single one who's coming to actually produce a tile. We're going to see how many tiles we can put out on the 2 days. So we're going to have like some wall space where we can, obviously we're going to draw a tile and then put them on this wall space and see what they look like as a big wall of tiles. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing that. So please, please, if you're coming, please take part. It'd be fabulous to see, wouldn't it? And Hobby Maker are going to take it down and yeah. Oh, Lynn, this is I do have a brown in my fine liners, but I thought I'd try a different one. So here we go. It's this one, and there you go. Look, sanguine. they're quite nice to use, and it's nice to have a difference. My brown's a little bit lighter than this one, I would say. So I wanted it to be a little bit darker, so I don't mind. I don't mind using others. I think my pens are great for what we normally use them for, but you know, it's nice sometimes to see different ones, I think. There we go. So I've sort of done a little bit of an aura in those two, and then into the next one. Oh, Pam, don't worry about the swirls. If you think swirls are not your thing, you could fill it with bubbles, or you could fill it with some lines, or you could leave it blank. You don't have to fill it at all. So don't worry. If there's ever a tangle that you're stuck on, or you think it's not right, then use another one. Use another. Okay. Oh, Chris. I know Dobby will be there. Yeah. Okay, so we've got these little spaces here now. I'm going to come in. I could put 3 loops in, but they're going to be really tiny. So I'm going to actually use this line that I've put in, and I'm going to create one either side. So we've got the 2 loops. I'm going to actually fill in that little bit of black there as well. Let's fill that in as well. And then I'm going to work all the way around doing the same thing there. So you just sort of fill in those little gaps. And then there, again, you're going to get just a bit of one. And of course there, you see how that sort of works? And then the next one. You'll find that Leslie will be at Kent as well. So I've got to take somebody to look after Dobby. No, it'd be nice. It'll be Leslie's first show with us. And along and down again, so we're getting 2 little loops either side. And of course it's the first one where Hobby Maker will be there. So it's going to be a good one, I think. Oh, it is. They're always great. I love actually going to shows and meeting you all and having a chat. And please as well, if you've got questions or if there's things that you've never been sure of, but you're not sure how to sort of post it or ask questions, then if you're over there, come and ask me. If there's anything you're not sure of, we'll put you right and we can sort out if there's anything that you need a little bit of a hand with. So really don't mind. We're taking all my stencils and things, so plenty of paper. There you go. See, just sort of little loops either side. Almost done with this. And one in there. There you go. Okay, so I'm just gonna, oh, I've got a bit there. I'm just gonna bring that brown pen up again. I say brownies. Oh, Chris, thank you. There's no pressure then. Well, thank you. It's lovely of you to say. Well, I think we're all a team. You know that. So you know, we all deserve the praise. You see, just some little stitch lines in there. And again, you don't have to use a different colour. You can stick with the black if you want to. And this is a good way of getting a bit of colour in. If you're not sure how to do it, then it's a good way of just adding a little bit without it being too overpowering. You've not got to colour the whole thing in. It's not going to take any longer than a regular tile, so it's quite nice just to sort of get you going. I think as well, this little stitching kind of idea, this will look really nice in parchment as well, wouldn't it? Of course, yeah. Any surface really. Let's have a little look at this. Oh, Bonnie, I'm glad it's helped out a little. I think we're going to put some shading on now then, if we're ready for this. So I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to do the top and the bottom of each of these little shapes. Now, I have sharpened my pencil a little bit because some of these ends are a little bit small, and I'm not going to be too shy with how much pencil I put on. So I'm going to go around the circle, ignoring those loops. And then same with these, I'm going to go top and bottom. Now, if you feel that you wanted to rub all the lines out before you do this, that's fine, go ahead. But I'm just going to leave those. It's nice, I think, sometimes to leave the construction lines. You see? Top and bottom of each one. So yeah, it is quite heavy, but I sort of want it that way. All right, just at the bottom of those little heart loop shapes. And then working along these here. Oh, so that'd be nice, a memory book. I do love memory books. I think the trick is, do you know what, to do one is to not commit yourself to doing the cover first. Do the pages first, and then you can make the spine fit however many pages. Because if you sort of have put, I don't know, for example, 10 pages in, you've got to then create those 10 pages, and then if your spine's already done, you can't change it. So if you think, well, I'm going to do 10 pages, but you only actually get to 5 or 6, we need evens, don't we? Then you can actually make the spine to fit the pages you've done. So you're not pressuring yourself, I think, to do anything extra where you don't need to. That's just what I do anyway. I'm sure you've got it in hand. I've not had a chance to do much of my memory book in a while. I've got 2 on the go. Very similar sizes, but one's got lots of tangles in and one has got some tile swaps. Oh, a bit busy though. Alright, see again, I've gone in quite heavy with that. And where that pencil line was, it's now disappeared anyway, so that's okay. Alright. I know, pal, I've got all the all the shortcuts. Now, sometimes you don't know, do you? And you're all full of it to sort of start with. And if you sort of find that you're running out of time, then you don't want to be sort of left filling something that you don't enjoy. You see here, I'm just going along the lines. I'm not actually shading in the tangles underneath there. Oh, Karen, that sounds like a plan. Yeah. I always think that, you know, if people say, what is it? I'd rather show them than tell them. I think it's so much easier, isn't it, to get the point across. Maybe they'll have you on air and you'll be talking about it, Karen. That'd be exciting. You'll have to let us know because we'd all listen. Oh, is it, Pam? I've not seen it. I've got, I say I've got most of them. I've probably got all of them. Yeah. Maybe the odd one I've not got. But, there we go. See, I've not gone all the way along here. I'm going to actually shade around the outside for all of it. And again, I've been quite heavy with this. There we go. And down. It's tricky, isn't it, when I'm not on the same channel as them anymore, so I don't sort of get the previews. I don't see what's coming up. Okay, there you go. I'm going to come back in with the pencil in a short while, but I actually want to blend this out first. And I'm going to start in the middle, very gently, trying to keep a little bit of a gap in the middle, as we usually do. You see, just sort of ever so gently sort of touching that edge. Because it is quite heavy, the pencil there. There we go. So then let's work it around the shape there, not too much. See how that sort of circle's now come out. And then follow all the little leaves all around. I mean, they could stand as petals as well, couldn't they? But I do tend to call them leaves more than petals. I'm aware of that with writing a lot of instructions this last week or so. I do tend to refer to them as leaves more, but they could be both. Okay. And then along. You see, I'm just sort of working my way up. Just along. Not going all the way to the top. I'm just softening it out. There we are. Again, you know, if you've got those lines underneath, you need to rub them out if you don't want to see them beforehand. But I've got a couple there. I don't think it matters. So this one then, I'm not going to sort of really go in there. I'm going to sort of work from here, just on the edge there, see? And just nice and gently pull it out. See it getting a little bit softer? And the same on this side. And I want to leave a nice white gap up the middle. Straight if I can. Gives it a nice sort of hint of a highlight. And then along we go. Okay, I'm just going to sort of, wanted a little bit of work there. Sometimes, you know, if you've missed a little bit of pencil on the edge, you can go back in, you know, and just shape it round. But for the most part, we want to try and keep it straight there. Oh, Pam, that'd be lovely, wouldn't it? I think we need some sort of sign, don't we? To say we are tanglers. I think you need to, I don't know, maybe have a bag or something on your person that's tangled that we can all go, oh, that's been tangled. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Oh, we'll all have some Dobby ears. Oh. But you know what? Use my place as a meeting point. I cannot remember the stand name, but use my place as a meeting point. I know it's on a corner and it's by the hobby maker sort of space. But I'll give you more information of that when we're there. As long as you're there, you'll find me. Okay, so I'm working along these little rows now. See, just adding in little swirls, just so I can control that shape. See a little zigzag around the top there. Pin a sock on everyone. That's such a good idea though, Jo. You might get some funny looks from other people who don't know what we're talking about. If they don't know what they're talking about, they talk like they don't know what they're missing, do they? Okay, and then just sort of flicking up a little bit. Okay, next one. Oh, you know, I'm really pleased with this one. I must actually find the photo. I'll post the photograph. I don't know if I got the lady's name who did the quilt, but I'll post a photograph of it. I do apologise if anybody knows her that I'm posting a picture without her permission, but I'm sure she perhaps wouldn't mind because we just absolutely loved her work. And hopefully you might see a little bit of this in there. There we go. Okay, so we've got these little sides here. I know, Viv. There we go. Now again, we could have put this on both sides, but I kind of like that this looks like it's sort of coming out on the rope there, and it sort of wouldn't do that if we put pencil there. I think there's a lot of places to look on this tile, isn't there? Lots of things to see, and you've got to go a little bit closer to see some of them. And if you like a bit more drama, you could always add, you know, in here you could add more of the black if you wanted to. So I'm just going to come around these edges, and then I want to go back and just add a little bit more pencil, and then I'm going to bring the white pencil in just for a little bit. You know, I know we put those little stitches in, but again, I like the quilt that inspired me to do this. you don't really see all the stitches until you look closely. So it was just a nice little point, even though they're in a different colour. You don't really see them until you look closely. You see, just sort of adding this little layer. I know, Joe. Do you know what I'm going to do, Joe? It's really pushed me to get my Create Art project out and draw that onto fabric. And do a bit of stitching and a bit of drawing and a bit of paint on it. I need a week off. Okay, let's have a look at this. Backing with pencil, and what I want to do is, remember we got a little square in the middle here. I want to just bring that square out a bit. I know we've done the circle, but I really want to bring out that little square. Now, I'm not going to blend this particularly, but you can see how I am actually going in quite heavy with the pencil there. And you can see it's brought that square out. And then just where we've got this little bit of rope, I want to go around it and add a little bit of pencil. Now I am going to blend this out a little bit, but I am putting quite a bit of pressure in. I'm not going to blend it much, but needs a little bit over those. And into this one. Okay. So just real gentle. I don't really want it to move too far. I just want a little bit of softening of that pencil. Along we go. Same in this one. Now, if you wanted this to be a little bit softer, you could have used a grey pen, or you could actually have used the brownish colour, the sanguine, all the way around, instead of using sort of mixing it with black. Well, what if you used a really light grey, so it was almost a pencil line, and then added the shade? You wouldn't have the blackness in it. Okay, white pencil. So, of course, we want a couple of highlights in here. So the first one is obviously going to be here. So along we go into those areas there. Yeah, oh, Sue, I do have one. I do have one. So, yes. I'll tell you what I'll do. I normally reserve them only for classes, but if there's anybody that wants one, I'll put them on the website. It's a really good price, just just to cover. And then if you all want to wear your badges, just for a limited time, I think, just while we're ready for Kent. There we go. So just adding a little bit to the top, and you might not see much of this on the camera, but you can see it on the tile itself. Just adding a little bit of a highlight there. Okay, so we could even put some in the middle here, but I actually quite like this without any. I think it really draws your eye into the middle there. And I think, oh, that one works. Yeah, Joe, there have been the odd occasion I've put badges out and about, but they're not very often. So, okay, there you go. There's our little ode, or our little inspired by the Festival of Quilts. I think I'm actually going to write that on the back, just so we remember. Richard, have you got different colours as well? I know there are 3 different colours. I don't know if we've got many of any left, but we'll have to have a look. Inspired by Festival of Quilts. It's nice to do this, isn't it? Because sometimes you look at it and you don't really see it. But when you know where it's come from. There we go. So there you go. Tile number, is it 269? Really love this one. And I will find the picture of the original quilt and I'll post it so you can have a look at it. So absolutely, yeah, there you go. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'm sure we have. It's been lovely chatting. And yeah, if you're on and watching Crafters TV tomorrow, please, you know, send photos in or send us a message and just to say hi. Of course, the American as well, if you're on there tomorrow watching, please come and say hi and send us some photos of your tile. I'd love to chat. And yeah, it'd be nice. Other than that, I will see you all back here on Friday. And yeah, I might show you a few hints of what's coming. Maybe. But of course, please, if you want to put a tile in book 9, you'll have to get it in by tomorrow tea time. So if you have a look on the Sanntangle group page, or is it on my page? I think it's a Sanntangle group. There is a little bit of information. There's where you've got to send it and what you have to put it. If you don't put the book 9 as the subtitle and send it to the right email address, I might miss it. Okay. So that'd be lovely. I will see you all either tomorrow or Friday. Take care. Have fun with this one. And yeah, I'll see you soon. All right, everybody. Bye.